Right, so guys, here we are at the end of the 12 weeks and we're ready to submit our projects. Now, I just want to take a chance to look back over my project and assess it for myself, as for the last 12 weeks, we ourselves have been assessing each other's projects and making comparisons and making judgments on them. But also, Brian and Adrian have also been making judgments on them, and that can be seen clearly through the system of the medals being awarded for outstanding work. So when I first started, decided to look at this through the 13 headings or 12 headings that were given, and the first we have is cover slide and design story. So it's the design story we're looking at. So I went to Edmodo anyway, and unfortunately all I could do was get back as far as the 4th of April. But personally myself, I believe that I have thoroughly gone through the whole design story of my project from start to finish. I initially had my concept sketches, ideas, investigation into Menlo Park and what it was all about. And then as I started to formalize these ideas, I started modeling parametrically and physically. And I'm not exactly sure. There's a few other posts inside there as well, I'd imagine. But if we're looking just here from the 4th of April, I come on to the realization and of soldering my Genie board together, and then began the manufacturing or the assembly of the project. And as I done this, I came up with problems that came along. One was where the motor was real noisy, and I eventually got this problem solved with formalizing numerous different things. Then I began wiring it and my circuit wizard, and right up all the way up until just the simple thing like the bit of felt on the bottom, just to make it that much score, right up until the end product, which is which oh, here I haven't put it up yet. So yeah, I actually haven't put it up yet, so yeah, I must put it up here. But I have it here on YouTube anyway. But so I then looked at adherence to the brief. So if we look back over the brief anyway, the Junior Cycle Innovation and Identity Awards, an annual award ceremony taking place on Friday, April 24th, 2015. Blah blah. This is the part where we really want to look at it. Innovation and Identity Award recognise junior cert pupils who have demonstrated outstanding and excellent individual skills and ability. In preparation for the Innovation and Identity Awards, we've been asked to design and manufacture an artifact inspired by the work of Thomas Edison. For the award, Dynamic Thinking. The artifact should reflect the nature of inventions associated with Edison: phonograph, microphone, light bulb, camera, etc., and display a proficiency of Menlo Park's culture and structure, creative and craftsmanship. So looking at my project here, I think I have incorporated a lot of that into it. With I tried to get the whole idea of Menlo Park with the heads coming together, which then formed the idea, which is the light bulb that flicks on. I think the award is very presentable to a pupil who deserves it. We have the gears, which have different words that are related to a dynamic thinker. And overall, I am very happy, and I do believe my project satisfies the brief. Because we also, if we look down here, we also have 5 other criteria that must be considered also. So we have the CNC machining of MDF, the laser machining of acrylic, dynamic mechanisms, e.g. gears, the electronic components, and the single switch power supply. So looking at my project again here, my cloud is made out of MDF, and all the profiles back along are MDF right together. All my gears and heads are all made out of acrylic. I have my single switch up here, and I also have, what else do I meant to have? Yeah, so I have my electric components, I have my dynamic mechanisms, which are my gears. So I think overall I have that box ticked more or less. I have everything I possibly need for that there. Um, then look at material use. So again, if I'm looking at my project here, I think I was very clever and efficient in the use of my materials. So I wanted, I needed this cloud background here to be strong and supportive, but I also needed plenty of thickness to be able to house my motor and all the things in behind it. So making all these profiles out of acrylic wouldn't have been very intelligent because it would have taken a lot of layers to build up. Whereas with the 18mm MDF, it took about 4 layers of MDF to build it up. So I thought that was very good on my part. Also, then I used acrylic for the gears, obviously, because I thought that it'd be a lot harder to move the motor, would be under more stress if I was to use MDF. And then I used acrylic for the head outlines because I didn't want them sticking out too much either, and they were covering over. I could have possibly used MDF, but no, acrylic was a better option altogether because I was able to get the different colors out of that as well, which suited better, and they didn't stand out as much as the MDF. So looking here again at this, I think I have that box ticked. So then if we move on to time efficiency, so I think was it yesterday, the day before, I uploaded my finished time plan. So if I was to look at the objectives of what I wanted to do each week and what I did do, so integration or idea generation down along here, and I remember Brian telling us it was in lecture week 1 or 2 to try and aim to be finished week 11, because a lot of the time these kind of projects, they produce problems in that. So if it's ready for week 11 and you have problems, then you have a week, give yourself a week to fix them up. But however, of course, as way a lot goes, plans don't always go to plans, and between different things, like I submitted my drawings wrong here to the wrong scale. I had them in inches accidentally. Then there was some trouble getting acrylics some days and that, and it was hard to get everything together. It wasn't overly easy to monitor everything together, but all the same, I had the time plan here, and it kept me on track. At least then, if I knew what needed to be done, even if I didn't have it done. So at least then I was on track. I keep myself going. So I think my time efficiency was very well because I finished the project on time with a little bit of time to spare just to make sure to tweak anything that needed to be extra. So innovation, yeah, I think my project is quite innovative. Maybe not as innovative as some other projects. Um, like scrolling down through Edmodo here, there are some very, very good projects, and maybe mine isn't the most innovative project, but all the same, I still think I came up with a very clever idea and something that really reflects what a dynamic thinker is, and incorporated the whole Menlo Park and Thomas Edison, and designed a good award that could be used to hand out. So personally, myself, I think the innovation in my project is good. The evidence was of investigation and research. So unfortunately, as I said, we can't get back along here, but I would have done. I wouldn't have done a huge amount of investigation and research. I think, or not too sure. I would have done some, but I found a lot of what I really found good was I would have used a lot of research a lot of videos and experiments that lads would have put up on Edmodo to share with us, which was I found very, very good. I think the words that I actually used, the words to describe it, Dynamic Thinker, I think was Jack Brown put up a link, linked it up there for everyone to use, and I found this link very well. So even though I mightn't have done a huge amount of investigation and research outside of Edmodo, I think that through Edmodo I did investigate in my project and research into it. Working drawings again, I don't think they're here. No, they're probably up here beforehand, but yet again, working drawings. What I produced was the drawings that would have been submitted to the CNC and the laser cutter. So I didn't put up any dimensions on it because this module was about using the CNC and laser cutter, and we don't put measurements on drawings when we're submitting them like that. So there was no, I didn't. That's why the reason I didn't put any dimensions or anything on mine. And I personally think there was no need to put dimensions on them because they were submitted to the machine. That's the way working drawings were meant to be produced for this module. So then move on. I have engagement with others. So this is where I would engage with other people and help them out or whatever. And this can also be seen through our badges. And looking here, on my replies, I personally myself, there was a lot of, I only replied if I actually thought I had something valuable to contribute. So there was lots of posts up along there where I would have scrolled and read them and said that I would just read them and I would have scrolled on because I wouldn't have actually had anything to I wouldn't have had anything worthwhile to contribute. So for like this post here by Thomas McTiernan, I seen it. He was on about running two separate motors, and I just thought the way I was running mine would have benefited him. So I was talked with him through what I had done, and it was just if I thought I had something worthwhile producing or worthwhile talking about or putting up, I would, or even if somebody had put up something about their project and I was wanted to know something, I'd ask them about it, and I thought it was very helpful. And I personally myself, I think I engage really well with others. So I think I have that one ticked off. So here we are then for evidence of conceptualization. So as I said, design story, my conceptualization, I think I have conceptualized my project extremely well. I've gone through it step by step, problems that occurred, each thing, what happened, how I done it. So I think I personally think that one is okay as well. So then I have prototyping, error, and modeling. So prototyping and modeling was something big that I would have done, and I actually made a summary video on Edmodo already, probably in week 7 or 8 when Adrian asked us to summarize some of our thing. And in my summary I talked a lot about modeling because it was something that I actually found very, very beneficial for myself, and it was something that I took part in a lot. So it was also, yeah, it was something that I didn't necessarily do a whole hell of a lot of physical modeling because I didn't think it'd benefit me, only for the shape and proportion so I have here. But parametrically, because my pieces were so small, it would be very hard to physically model them. So I was able to use SolidWorks very effectively to create my project and to design it so that when it's submitted, or when I put the drawings through the laser and the CNC, that when they come out it all meshed together correctly. And this made it very easily for me then, that when I got the pieces it was just about assembly, simple as that. So for modeling, I think I've really engaged with modeling and done really well in that area. Expression or emotion? I this heading, to be honest, I wasn't exactly 100% sure what expression or emotion, what it was meant by it. Um, so as I said, I can't really assess myself on it. I personally didn't realize or didn't understand probably what it was, and in hindsight, looking back at here, maybe I should have put more thought into what it was and to try and incorporate my project. But as I said, I didn't understand what was really being looked for, so I can't award myself or credit myself in any marks here for that. And then the last one we have the evidence of problem solving. So in my project there was many different problems, alright. One problem was with the Genie board actually. So one of the resistors was wrong, and this problem was pointed out to me by David Hogan, who put up a post on Edmodo for everyone to see, and it was very much appreciated that he put this up, because it would have saved, like, the chances are my LEDs or my Genie board could have been fried, my chip would have been fried if I had to program it wrong or whatever, and that would have set me back then. It would have put me under a serious amount of pressure trying to go off and get a new Genie board. So as I said, I'd like to thank him again for making that post and putting it up. Other problems that I occurred was, as it was talked about down here, when I first attached the motor. I found the motor that was really noisy and there was a lot of friction between the gears at the back. And then as I worked through this more, when I had it all wired and soldered together, I assumed that something would be just simple as um putting Vaseline in the gears. However, what I did notice was that the bar, one of the shafts, was actually bent on the motor. So it was only ever so much, barely a thing. So what I did was I took it out and I replaced it with a new shaft altogether, and then applied Vaseline to the motor, and it ran very much smoother altogether. Another problem that I occurred was when I use my SolidWorks, or when I use Circuit Wizard in programming my project. My first picture here, we have this here. I had no resistors in my double pole double throw switch, ran it through and everything worked perfect, so I assumed this was okay to go ahead with. However, when I did wire it up and put it together, I don't know, is it here? Yeah. So when I did wire it up and get it running, I tried it and set it going, and what I actually found was that I blew a lot of the LEDs. So I blew the top row, and I blew the bottom row, and I blew the yellow LED at the back, because I sent too much voltage through the resistor, or through the Genie, and through the LEDs, because I didn't realize that the Genie didn't, it only dropped the voltage, it never dropped the current. So it actually ended up blowing my LEDs. So then I had to go away, and with the help of Brian, I solved the problem. What it was, but I needed to add a resistor, and I needed to add a 150 ohm resistor. And when I done this, then I was able to rewire it all and got it all working. So that was evidence of problem solving, and I had a lot more of a true parametric model, and I would have done a lot of problem solving as well, and figuring out where pieces should go and organising where my motor went. I done that with the use of SolidWorks after getting Sean Geeney's motor that he put up, which was another great resource added by someone else. So when I kick off that, I think I have pretty much most or nearly all of the criteria met for the design portfolio. The only possible thing that I could miss out on was expression or emotion, and as I said, I still not 100% what it means. I could have expressed it. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But other than that, I think pretty much I've done a very good job in this project, and it's done to the best standard I could possibly do.